You're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast with your host, Decal.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Decal here at the E.I.T.H.R podcast, episode number 99. Let's get it started live from the GNSHQ here in Northern California. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's listening, to my people in Folsom, California, San Jose, California, and Medford, Oregon, Grants Pass, Oregon, Florida, Montana, believe it or not. We got some people out there in, Chicago, Illinois. We got some people in Texas. And I just want to say thank you very much to those who have constantly and religiously turned in. Danville, San Ramon, Castro Valley, Livermore. What up, San Francisco? And of course, obviously, Sacramento. Not just the city, but the county. What up, LA? Man, that's crazy. Los Angeles. Who would have thunk it? I mean, that's wild, boy. So, all my listeners across the pond, man, they listen. I appreciate you guys over there in Manchester. I appreciate you guys in Sydney, Australia. I sincerely do. Like I said before, man, from Sin City to Cincinnati, thank you for turning into your boy's podcast. The elephant in the room is what we do here. We talk about things that are very, very difficult. The way I'd like to describe it is we actually read the article before we comment. It's a podcast where we try to be as informed as possible, non-biased as possible, where you get to see a multitude of different angles, so it's not just one biased way. And I've had a couple of conversations with folks who, believe it or not, deep down inside, man, they like those kind of conversations because that's how you learn what you don't know. But we are in a world where everybody's yelling they're right, and if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. So we don't do that here. We don't do that here. We try to look at everything from all angles. So even if you don't agree, at least you'll be better informed. So those of you who are new to the podcast, what we like to do is start this thing off with a shout out. And we like to do inspirational, motivational before we get everything going. So what I want to do is give a shout out to James Lynch. And to those who don't know who James Lynch is, I would liken yourself to go to Google or CNN or Fox News or whatever outlet you trust, and type in the name Ralph Yarl, Y-A-R-L. For those who are stubborn and in the car, you can't really do anything on Google because, well, it's not legal to use your phone while you're driving. Ralph Yarl was the 16-year-old boy in Kansas City, Missouri, who was going to pick up his twin younger brothers. And he went to the wrong house. And he was shot through the door by an 85-year-old man. And after the bullet went through the door, the 85-year-old man proceeded to walk through the door and stood over Ralph Yarl and shot him again. It doesn't say what kind of caliber gun it was, because this boy he's a beast, because he got up and went to 3 different houses before a man by the name of James Lynch, who was getting ready to go to bed and had just got out the shower, heard the cries, rushed outside, hopped the fence, saw this young boy bleeding from his arm and from his head, applied pressure with towels. Another female neighbor came out, did the same, and waited for paramedics to show up to take the young boy, who has critical yet serious brain damage, but he's recovering. So hopefully the damage isn't long lasting and he will make a as speedy as possible recovery. But I want to give a shout out to James Lynch because he did something. And I think a lot of us could possibly learn from that situation, man, where take care of everybody, look out for one another. And he saved a young boy's life. And for inspirational, motivational, I know somebody's going to feel this shit right now. Real progress starts the moment you want to stop. So right when you're thinking of giving up on whatever it is you're pursuing, don't. That's your progress. It's the E.I.T.H.R podcast. We're going to have a shout out from our sponsor, and then we'll get right into this episode 99.
Crush all the struggles and pressures that get in your way, big or small, minor or major. We all are fighting demons that others do not know about. But it's how you handle it that makes it look easy. Shop at Mile.today. Again, Mile, MILE.today. Mile.today.
Once again, hey! Put your hands up.
It's your boy D-Cal, and we're back to E.I.T.H.R podcast here at the GNS HQ in Northern California. Follow us on social media, man. Do me a favor. On Instagram and on Twitter, you can find us at the same handle. It's E.I.T.H.R, T-H-E, E-I.T.H.R. Also, you could follow us on the parent company on TikTok, which is the GNS Inc., THEGNSINC. You can download the Spreaker app if you haven't done so already. But it's SPREAKER. Fill out a profile and you can follow us there. Or again, you can continue to follow us, listening to us, subscribing to us, wherever you're getting your podcast right now, whether it's Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever, it doesn't really matter. So, kind of talk about this a little bit. With episode 99, I kind of want to do a little something different. So, we're not necessarily going to talk about anything that's in the news per se, but we're going to talk about some of the elephants in the room that we have internally, like conversations that we have about ourselves, right? Things that we say we're going to get to, but we never really get to because we're so busy with our lives, right? But I did this exercise for the past couple of days, and it wasn't on purpose. It was a complete accident. I just kind of stumbled on this thing, and I tweeted it out, and I put it on our Instagram as well. Do you really have anything to stress over? Or are you stressing out of habit? I asked myself this question once. I was just driving. Today is Wednesday. So I want to say this was maybe Sunday or Monday when I first asked myself this, just out of nowhere. Do we really have anything to stress over? Or are we doing this out of habit? So then I repeated myself. What are we stressing over now? And as condescending as that may sound, or counterproductive as that may sound, for my brain, and I'm an overthinker, I'm an overanalyzer, I'm a multitude of level perspective type of person, hence the E.I.T.H.R podcast. So when I ask myself that, what it does, it makes me think of all the things that I'm stressing over, right? Whether it's a new project that I'm giving myself, or deadline that I gave myself for a project, or which topic out of the many topics that I want to talk about or discuss or bring light to, what do I want to put in order, or which one do I want to say for this day and move this one to the next day, or what do I want to post, what do I want to tweet, what do I want to go, what do I want to promote, Just as an example. And as I ask myself these questions and I think about the things that I'm stressing over, I'm doing air quotes. By default, I give myself solutions to the things that I'm stressing over, which then takes away the stress, right? So what am I stressing on now? It comes to the forefront. Then I solve that problem. So now I have the solution to the problem I was stressing over, which by default eliminates the stress. Now I got a game plan. And I said this before in one of my other episodes is if you create a list, a to-do list, an A, a B, a C, and you prioritize whatever it is you have to do, you see exactly what is or exactly what isn't high on the priority list to do. Which then, by default, aids in helping solve any anxiety or any stress that you may possibly have. It's really simple. Now, it's not easy. I get that. And it's simple. Yeah, but you don't understand. And trust me, for all of you guys who go sit back and say some bullshit about how you don't understand, I have ADD, I have OCD, I have OPP, and I'm a PYT. So I get it. I totally 100% get it. But what happens is a lot of us, we want to make a competition over whose life is the suckiest. And then you win the sympathy award, right? Because then it justifies why something doesn't get done or is unable to be done. But when you eliminate the problem and you solve it, then there's nothing for you to stress over. And for some of us, not having anything to stress over is a very foreign concept. Because, and I learned this about 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, some people, when they have nothing to stress over, they get stressed out. Figure that shit out. Some people are, they're addicted to pain, man. Because that's the world they know the most. I'm not gonna say that's good. I'm not gonna say that's bad. But it's the truth. Some people, they don't want organization because they don't like the feeling of having nothing to do. Because in some cases, listen, we live in a world, man, where many of us are taught, many of us are told, many of us are trained, and many of us are raised to believe you have to be busy to be successful. If you're not doing something, you're wasting the day. You're burning the midnight oil. You're not being productive. There's always something to do. No, there isn't. Listen, in the generation that I come from, the saying was always, you want to be successful, you have to work hard, right? I'm going to tell you right now, that's a bullshit lie. And I learned that maybe in the last decade and a half because of meeting people who didn't work hard. What they did was they worked smart. People who work smart work harder at working smarter. That's what they do. Motherfuckers just kind of leave the work smarter part out for all of us ants on the farm and worker bees. We don't hear that part of the equation, but they know to work smart. Okay, so a lot of us have that feeling. We have to be busy all the time. We have to have a bunch of work to do in order to be productive. No, that's not it. Because then what you're doing is you're living to work. There's no life in working. You work to live, baby. You put in your work and you enjoy yourself. But a lot of us, we don't have that type of structure or that type of setup or those type of examples to do. So it goes right back to what I'm saying, in my opinion, from my experience, based on what I've observed. Many of us feel if we're not doing something, we're not being productive. And that is such a misleading concept, because you can be productive in doing something. And not everybody has the same vision, but we all have the same goal. And the same goal is to have freedom, have free time, have time to where you can enjoy whatever the fuck it is you want to do. That's the goal. Now, we all have different ways and different methods and different means of getting to said freedom. We all have different levels of how we see this freedom, but nonetheless, we all have this freedom. That's what we want. That's the vision that we have. It doesn't matter what it is, man. Just be smarter at working harder, even if you have to delegate certain responsibilities. Again, creating a list. A, B, C. A being the highest of priority. B being this needs to get done today, but it's not a rush, but it is a priority. C, it does, if it don't, it don't. See, remember when we were kids? Some of us are still kids, right? But I'm talking about, remember in elementary school, junior high school, when class was over and you had recess. That was your outlet. That was your fun. You did schoolwork so you can go chill with your friends, right? You go back to class, you have lunch breaks. You couldn't wait to see your peers. You couldn't wait to hang out. You couldn't wait to gossip. You couldn't wait to play games. Listen, I remember my freshman year in high school. I couldn't wait to hang out with the juniors and seniors, because all we just played dominoes early in the morning, at lunchtime, if we could get a game or two. At the end of school, if we didn't go our ways to do homework or play sports or whatever, that's what we did. But we went to class so we can kick it at lunch and decompress and have fun, right? We get older into the real world, into this responsibility. It changes things, right? Because here's my thing on this. Adulthood is the same as it was when we were younger. The main difference is the responsibilities. And what I mean by that is this: when you sit back and actually process and digest and marinate what I'm about to say, our decisions we made when we were younger led us to this position that we're at right now. Younger is a perspective. I mean, from decisions you made yesterday, last week, last month, last year, last decade, doesn't matter. Those decisions led to commitments, and you did not realize how deep in commitments you were until you wanted to make a decision to go enjoy yourself, but you couldn't because you had an itinerary with a bunch of promises, commitments, and schedules that were already made, and you totally forgot you did that. So now you have to sacrifice what you wanted to do for what you have to do. Okay. That's part of adulthood. The other part of adulthood, in my opinion, is sitting back and rearranging and reorganizing your priorities. Because there shouldn't be an issue with anybody wanting to be able to have free time on a Wednesday evening to do absolutely fucking nothing if you don't want to. Or if a friend says, hey, you want to go grab something to eat real quick? You know what? Yeah, let's get caught up. Hell, I've even made the suggestion with people. I said, listen, some of us moved out of town, out of city, out of state, out of country since we've been children, been adolescents, been young adults. The beauty about Zoom and Skype is you can have a friend who's overseas and you guys could have dinner together, lunch together, breakfast together, depending on the time zones. You can have a meal together. You can be at home, they can be at home. They pour a drink, you pour a drink. You got the video, you Skype one another. You could set it up on the couch or the table or wherever next to you. Have a conversation. It's like you're there, but you're not there. It's all about thinking outside the box. But so many of us get caught up in the decisions that we made in the past that we feel we don't have time to rearrange. And I said this in the past before, because I've heard this and it resonated with me. We're not tired. We're uninspired. And a huge part of that comes from the circle that you keep around you, right? If everyone has a common past, that's where you'll stay. If you guys have a common future, that's where you'll go. And it can be something as small as, like the stripper, she has people that she would contact and they will go on walks. I know that sounds like, I get it. But you know something? Sometimes that's all you need is somebody to go on a walk with and talk about bullshit. Just hit each other with the bullshit while you're out walking a trail, while you're out walking a hill, while you're walking the block a few times, and call it a day. Get some sunshine, get some vitamin D, get some fresh air, release those endorphins. You good, right? I believe one of the biggest issues that we have is we don't have an outlet, right? So that's that. But if you really break everything down, you don't have anything to stress over. So going back to the topic, what am I stressing over now? You work those problems out. But a lot of us don't understand how to, or we just haven't had a history of successfully learning how to problem solve, because our world is full of problems. And some people, like I said before, they can't function on solving a problem. And I feel that's a blemish on a lot of people, right? That's a blemish on a lot of people. I know for me, I do a lot of self-reflecting on myself. I do a lot of problem solving and self-checking and self-evaluating, and I feel that I have to. It's my obligation to make sure that I go through myself and I correct me. And I'm the realest motherfucker I know. Ain't nobody realer than me. That's why I talk to myself a lot. I need professional help, so I talk to the pro who knows about me the most, myself. And so I am not just my best friend. I am a real true friend. Because unlike a lot of people, I have no problem in calling myself out when I do something wrong. And that's a blemish on some people, is they're never wrong. They're always right. And they're the victim. Right? Some people also say a blemish on themselves would, whatever your blemish is, you figure that out. Only you know what you need to work on. Something that you consciously are aware you need to work on. Another issue that I have with myself is I'm quick to make judgments on people based on pet peeves that I have. And I have to understand that in many cases, though these people are doing things that might irritate the fuck out of me, their intention and my perception may not be the same, right? One of my pet peeves that I have, oh God, is people staring at me. Listen, I don't know if that's a black thing, because where I come from, not just the place, the city, the area, but the era. If someone stares at you, that it's almost like you got a fucking problem. Like, didn't your mama ever teach you don't stare at somebody? But I have to also tell myself, Decal, they might recognize you from someplace, right? Anywhere you see me, I'm wearing mile clothes, whether it's a mile hat, a mile shirt, my mile joggings, the sweatpants. Someone might be admiring the clothing that I'm wearing. I have the E.I.T.H.R podcast on my car. Someone might be listening to the podcast. Someone might see the car. And then they see me at the store, at the gas station, at the light. And they're kind of like, oh, that's Decal. But my, air quote, trigger is getting stared at. Just because where I'm from, that usually entices confrontation. So that's something that I know I need to work on more. I sincerely do. What is a blemish? What is something that you guys know for a fact you need to work on yourself? You got a homework assignment. A lifetime homework assignment from me to you. What is something? Do you have, God, I know I need to stay off my phone. Do you have oh God, I know I need to stop eating at this place. I know I need to stop drinking this or that. I know I need to cut back on this vice. You know what? I need to get out more. You know what? I need to stay home more. I need to tell my partner I love them. You know what? I need to go and do this with my kids. You know, I need to spend more time with my family. I need to, what is it that you feel that you need to do? What is a blemish on your resume of life that you know for a fact, damn, I need to work on this. I need to do better than this. I need to do better at this. I need to do better with this. I need to do better for this. What is it? What is it? I know for me, another blemish that I have, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't mean this in a condescending. I don't mean this in a contradictory. I don't mean this in any type of negative. I need to stop expecting me from other people. Right? And I know there's plenty of you guys out there who are just like that. On the flip side of that, that could also be a bad thing. Because if you know good and damn well you're the kind of person that will sabotage a relationship, you're the kind of person that will sabotage a marriage, you're the type of person that in any opportunity to go home early from work, you're the kind of person that if someone gave you an opportunity to ruin something, you know you would do it. And it doesn't have to be something blatant and direct, but you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about. If you're the kind of person that knows if something needs to be done, I am volunteering for shit. You also have to not expect you from other people. Because there might be someone who does the opposite of you. Right? One of my things is I'm a very trustworthy person. But the problem is you got to go through some loops to get my trust. And trust me, it's far from easy. Because there's not only a desert you gotta cross, but you also gotta cross an ocean. And this ocean has acid rains and hellfire. On top of that, there's sharks that can breathe underwater or in the air because they have wings. Okay, and to get to the land, there's a castle, and this castle is surrounded by a moat, and this moat have heat-seeking, fire-breathing betta fish, and you got to get through them to get to the drawbridge, which is not stable, and it draws up randomly with the Coriolis. So you can get catapulted into a wall of glass and nails. Once you get that, you gotta fight the dragon, who has vibranium type skin and is invincible. Once you pass that dragon, then you gotta go up a flight of stairs because the elevator's broken. And you gotta get past the security code that changes every 12 seconds. But once you do all that, I let you in. You gotta wait for me to unlock the door. It's very simple to get my trust, right? And I know people who have a bigger guard than that. Now, once you're in, you are in. Until you do something stupid. Then here comes this adamantium wall with a vibranium centerpiece that now protects me inside a ball of fire. So, but outside of that, once I trust you, I trust you. There's a lot of people who you gotta do so much to get in that realm of trust, right? But what are some other blemishes that you have that you know for a fact you gotta get worked on, right? You gotta address those issues. You gotta sit back and talk to yourself about that. You have to bring some awareness to yourself and say, you know what? I need to work on this too, right? Because once you do, and you get all that taken care of, you see that things are life is not as bad as we think it is. It's not. But again, when it comes to my peeves, that is definitely, something I have to work on because of that, right? And because of my trust issues and my growing up and abandonment and lack of family and communication and all these other fun things, I still have to work on me, right? So what are some issues that you feel internally yourself that you know for a fact, okay, this is hindering me in my growth, right? Because there's, like I said, like that list I gave earlier about things that you can do with your family, with your kids, with all these other fun things. That's your freedom. Because we waited our whole child life to become adults. Now look at us, right? Look. We're just a big pile of mess, being held together with spit and scotch tape, going to a job that hopefully doesn't fire us because they see a post that we put online about how much we hate that place, so we can live someplace that we thought was going to be cool, but it ain't, all right? We got to keep it together. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it together. And listen, man, again, like I said earlier, adulthood is no different than when we were younger. It just, we put ourselves in a position to have more responsibility. Now we just got to reorganize that, right? We got to reorganize that. We got to reset it. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. But like I said, if you could attach yourself with some people that have a common future, you guys can make that happen. Remember when we were younger, you used to go to your friend's house? You're adults, bro. your girls should be able to come over and hang out with you. They should. Why not? Right? Yeah. Hey, listen. I would imagine, ladies, if you have an apartment or a townhome or a house, or you rented a room and you invite some of your friends over, my place is a mess. Girl, crack over a bottle of wine. Let's go ahead and straighten this place up. Let's go give it a makeover. We're going to rearrange some shit. Because we all know this is the truth, right? When you rearrange furniture, it kind of does feel like a new place. Optics, it looks different. So the brain believes, oh, this is kind of new. It's kind of fresh, right? Maybe that's all you need. Is a nice little spring rearranging. Maybe not spring cleaning, but a rearranging. Right? Like I said, if you guys have that Skype thing, man, or that Zoom, try it out. It might seem weird, right? But if you could Zoom and Skype on a dating app, you shouldn't have any issues Zooming or Skyping a friend or two and you're having a bite to eat. Because when you gotta go, just hit the end button. Simple as that, man. Right? And if everyone's in the same boat of adulthood, nobody should be stressing over what your place looks like or what you're wearing or if you shaved or not. Because look, listen, you knew me before makeup and puberty. This is me on nicotine and coffee. So here it is. This is what it's like, right? And you guys could be best of pal like you were before, instead of passing period or bench in the courtyard at school. It's at your desk, right? And I think maybe if you set up a Zoom or Skype break where you guys say, okay, at 7 o'clock we're going to meet up, right? You should be able, at that point, this is just me kind of adding on to it. I'm going to move on. Chris Rock in one of his stand-ups once said, the reason why marriages, relationships really have nothing to say to anybody anymore is because before technology got to the point, your spouse and you didn't talk all day. So when you got home, it was, honey, let me tell you about what happened at my job today. Oh man, let me tell you my day was like, this is what happened. And you sit there while you're making dinner, or you're sitting there while you're eating dinner, or you're sitting there while you're having a cocktail, or you guys are out on a drive or going for a walk, and you're discussing the day because it's brand new and it's fresh. With the gift of social media, here comes the curse of it, right? Because you and your spouse have nothing to say because you follow each other and you saw everything on social media. I know what happened at your job. I know what happened when you came back from your break. I know exactly what they said in the meeting. I know exactly who read what was said in the meeting. I saw the screenshot of the reaction. I heard about what happened in traffic. By the time you get home, I already know the update. There's nothing new you're going to tell me. It's just going to be a repeat and recycle of the information that I've already seen. I commented on it. There's nothing, if you will, breaking anymore because shit already broke. I think, feel, and believe if you're in a relationship with somebody, try this exercise in addition. Don't post shit for a day. Just one day. Try it out. One day. Give it a shot. One day. Don't post anything regarding work, regarding the gym, regarding your meal, regarding a meeting, regarding what he said, she said, them said, they said. Don't post nothing. So when you get home, you are just boiling over to tell people how your day was. That's kind of how life was before 2004, before social media, right? It was kind of like that. Give that a shot. Give that a shot. Another thing, in addition to the homework assignment of finding your blemishes, finding things that you know you need to work on. Again, you can hit us up at the E.I.TH.R, E.I.T.H.R on Instagram or on Twitter. You can let us know what you feel your blemish are. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search for the parent company, THEGNS Inc. And this is episode number 99. So you can just go ahead and say, hey, yeah, regarding the blemishes, this is something I see about myself. This is something I want to work on. This is something I need to address. This is something that I feel I have to go ahead and readjust because of cool, beautiful, right? But here's another homework assignment. You got 2. And this is more of a lifelong thing, not just for today. I want you to go out and give a complete stranger a compliment. Now, for the non-sharp people, that doesn't mean just walk up and say, hey, you're pretty, and drive off. No, that's weird. Super weird. But what I mean by that, let's say you're in line at fill in a blank restaurant. I don't know, I don't care. You're at the grocery store, you're in line. And you legitimately see somebody wearing a nice outfit. In a non-creepazoid way. It's going to be interesting because a lot of people don't know how to talk to human beings face to face anymore. Give that person a compliment. Hey, look, man, I just want to say, that's a dope ass suit, bro. Like, I do this when I'm out and about. If I see someone in a nice suit, tailored with the thin tie and a tie clip, I'm like, yo, man, that suit is dope. I really like that suit. Or, yo, I really like that tie clip. Because I'm a big accessories guy. Tie clips, cufflinks, those were my shit. That was my thing. I couldn't wait to do business casual so you could see the cufflinks that happened to match the buttons on the shirt, which happened to go with the Movado watch, which happened to go with the... Man, let me tell you something. It goes a long way when you give someone a compliment. Because listen, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Quote from Deion Sanders. So, if you know for a fact, you love it when someone gives you a compliment because someone acknowledged the effort you put into something. That carries on with your day. So it's kind of like I said in the description, man. You want to be the change you want to see in the world, one day at a time. I challenge you to go out there and give someone a compliment, right? If someone's makeup is on point, like, girl, I don't know what you did, but that makeup, it's working. Ask her how she did it. What is she? Women, however y'all communicate that, right? Fellas, again, if a dude's wearing, I don't know about this generation anymore, but I remember a decade ago when it wasn't weird to talk to people. I had no issue in telling somebody, yo, man, that cologne you got is, yo, what is that? What is that? Because I need that. I can imagine what's happening to you when you wear that out in public. I need to get attacked the way you get attacked. What is that? Right? Or if a woman, because I used to have a fragrance business, so I would love to guess the perfume they would have on, right? And this is, like I said, 10 years ago. So 7 times out of 10, I got the fragrance. The other 3, I was not too far off, but I wasn't on. But I would explain to them, oh, well, the reason I said that because of this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But the fact that I was aware and knew about fragrances, fellas, just so you know, women like that shit because it's things that men don't pay attention to. You can tell when I gave a compliment to the perfume, she perked up because someone acknowledged something small and minute that made her feel good. Oh, someone else on the outside noticed that as well. And I know when I get compliments about when I'm wearing mine, like, yo, what is that? I'm like, oh, make it look easy. What does that mean? And I go through the whole breakdown about make it look easy, and I try to tell them what the message is on the website. And they're like, yo, I like that. It's simple, but it's also profound. Give someone a compliment, man. I told the story before about me being on the bus some years ago when that woman asked me how my day was. She said hello, how my day was. She had a smile on her face, and we didn't say nothing for the rest of the bus ride. And when she got off her ride, because her stop was before my stop, and again she hit me with the, man, you have a nice day. And it was, her smile was just like that grandmother's smile. Like, you couldn't have a bad day after that. And that's always stuck with me. And it does get swept in the midst of the rest of the world and all its crap and drama, you know, but I try my best to always be conscious and conscious of vibe and energy people receive. And it comes off. And it attacks, it attach, and it attracts. And people can feed off that. People, their energy and your energy kind of mingles and meshes. Scientifically, it's proven that our energy stretches all across the fucking planet. So, that compliment, you have no idea how important that is, because somebody might need that more than you think, more than you are aware of. And that could change somebody's day, right? I'm watching a movie, and I love this film, Seven, with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. And why am I drawing a blank on his name? Kevin Spacey. Just to name a few, are in this film. If you have seen it, you'll understand the reference I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go on Tubi and watch Seven, where Kevin Spacey's character basically says, you can't just walk up to anybody and tap them on the shoulder and get their attention. You can't do that anymore. Well, I challenge you to do that just by having a conversation, because you never know, someone could be in such a bad mood for whatever they're going through, and you just say something like, yo, man, that's a dope hat. I like that hat. That's what's up. I love hats. I never seen that one before. That's what's up. That's pretty cool. Don't say anything. Don't give a compliment that's, you know, is a bullshit compliment. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, I understand that a lot of people usually give compliments with other things, with an agenda behind it, right? Try not to do that. Try to be very cautious and very aware. There is no intention. I'm just giving you this compliment, right? Just be like, hey, lady, I don't mean to interrupt. It's just one of those things. I just want to say, your hair is dope. The hair, makeup, the glasses, it works, right? Don't try to push. Don't use it as an introduction. Just give a compliment. Fellas, if a woman gives you a compliment, that does not mean she wants to take a ride on your pogo stick, right? She doesn't want your magic stick. She might, but that shouldn't be the first thing that pops in your head, right? Stop salivating and showing your teeth, because that meat isn't necessarily there to feed you. She probably just giving you a compliment. Run with it. It could just be an innocent comment, an innocent compliment. Run with that. Feel good about it, right? Fellas, we like to feel good too, right? So I don't think compliments should be that scarce as much as they are. But they are, unfortunately. And I think the world should go back to giving credit where credit is due in many situations. Fellas, don't walk up to somebody and be just like, I see you drinking 2%. Is that because you think you're fat? Well, you're not. You could be drinking whole milk if you wanted to. If you know the reference I'm talking about, you understand the comment. You don't have to be that smooth. You can just hair, makeup, glasses, shoes. Something that's not necessarily directly at her figure, right? Do something. I mean, I pay attention to little details, man. And I remember there was this one woman. I said, listen, I don't mean to be disrespectful and I don't mean to be out of pocket, but I just have to say, your freckles are it. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna let you forgot she had freckles. Okay? In the midst of all that, second part of that homework assignment, compliment yourself when you're getting ready for the day. Say an incantation about yourself. Say it a couple of times. Say it with confidence, though. Say it as if you're saying it to your best friend, because goddamn it, you are. Because if you don't hear a compliment from anybody else, at least you should love you enough to do so. That's all I got to say about that. Episode 100 is coming up next. It's your boy D Cal at the E.I.T.H.R podcast. Follow us, the E.I.T.H.R, E.I.T.H.R. Subscribe, GNSETV.com. It's free. Holla at your boy. Talk to you in the future.